welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you've never been here before. So in today's video we will be discussing the Jelani Days case that's currently ongoing at the moment. This case is actually very heartbreaking, just very unfortunate. Like, I know every single true crime and every single missing persons cases are very heartbreaking to even watch or even just watch play out, but this one is just definitely very unfortunate. So Jelani was 25 years old. He's from Denville, Illinois, but at the time he was living in Bloomington, Illinois. He was the second youngest amongst 5 siblings, so he has 2 sisters and 2 brothers, a perfect balance. His mother described him to be very productive, very driven, and very educated. In 2018, Jelani graduated from Alabama Agricultural Mechanical University at the top of his class with a bachelor's degree in speech pathology. Despite COVID-19, Jelani started his grad program at the University of Illinois, where he would pursue his master's degrees in speech pathology. Jelani was actually very excited to be able to get into that program, because apparently it's like really hard to even be able to get into that program. Jelani lived off campus in Bloomington, Illinois. It's only about an hour away from where he actually lives, which is Denville, Illinois. So he will drive back home to see his family very frequently, like a few times a week or sometimes every week, depending on the schedule. He was just very family oriented and just really loved his family. Jelani has another family member that actually wants to be a doctor as well. So they actually refer to each other as doctors. And they have like a little friendly competition going on amongst themselves to kind of see who is going to be a doctor first, which is like really cool. So you can tell he was just definitely very passionate about what he was actually going to school for. Like, he was actually just very excited about it. Like, he knew that it was gonna be a lot of work, and it was gonna, it was gonna take some time, and it was gonna be a lot of work, but he was just ready for the challenge. On Monday, August 23rd, Jelani spoke with his mother briefly in the morning. The conversation was pretty normal. Then he told his mother that he has a class and he would call her back after class. So he just went on to class as normal and then called her back after class, and everything was completely fine. That same day, on Monday the 23rd, Jelani was texting his professor. She was the director of clinical education. Jelani was speaking to her about some coursework that he had, and they basically planned on meeting up the next morning. On Tuesday, August 24th, Jelani was seen at the ISU Bone Student Center. He was wearing business attire. He was wearing a blue button-up shirt with some black dress pants and black shoes. They basically saw him walk into the student center to get Starbucks, and then he left. That same morning of the 24th, that was the same morning that he was actually supposed to meet the professor. So she was waiting in the classroom and she didn't see him show up. So she thought that it was just a little bit weird that he wouldn't text or call to say that, if he's running late or something. So she did try to reach out to him. She tried to send him a text message. He didn't respond to the message, so she didn't really think anything of it. She was just like, okay, she'll catch him later, because he did have a class that same day around 1 p.m. So the time for class rolled around, which was about 1 p.m. and the professor noticed that Jelani did not come to class. And she was immediately concerned after he didn't show up, because that was definitely very weird. That was not his character. Like, he would definitely never miss class without saying anything, but he's just not the type to even miss class in general. So the fact that he didn't show up to the meeting and didn't show up to class, she was immediately concerned, and she literally reported to the police right away. So the fact that she reported it to the police right away, that just really goes to show how abnormal it is for him not to go to class, because he's literally just always there, always on top of his studies. On August 25th, campus police went to Denville, Illinois, which is Jelani's hometown, basically just to let the family know that he didn't show up to class, he didn't show up to the meeting with the professor, and they're like very concerned. They're not able to get in touch with him. Jelani's mother didn't necessarily notice that she didn't speak to him the day before. Like, she noticed it, but she didn't really think anything of it because she was busy. She was busy packing up for a trip, I believe. But then when she asked his siblings and asked his family member if anyone heard from him the entire day, and they said no, she was immediately concerned because he spoke with his family every single day. Like, he spoke with somebody, like somebody in his family every single day. Like, he made sure he kept in touch with everyone. So it was just definitely abnormal and just out of sort. One of Jelani's brother went back to his apartment with the police, basically just to like look around, to just see if there's anything that looks out of the normal. But he did notice that everything looked fine in the apartment. The only thing that he noticed was that Jelani's car wasn't there. So Jelani was reported missing on August 25th, basically immediately after his mom realized that she hasn't spoken to him, and after she heard from campus police. She basically reported him missing right away because she just know how abnormal everything was.
My son has been missing since August 24th. I didn't speak to my son one day and I reported him missing.
On August 24th, Jelani was seen going into Beyond Hello dispensary of Veteran Parkway in Bloomington, Illinois. He was wearing a blue Detroit Lions baseball cap, a Jimi Hendrix Band t-shirt, and gray athletic shorts. He was using his blue iPhone 12 Max while driving his car. Based on the photos that he took when entering to the dispensary, he was looking directly into the camera. So they thought that it was strange because they were like, maybe he's looking directly into the camera just in case something happened to him, then they can know that he was there. Apparently that's completely normal. Like, they let you do that whenever they're checking your ID before going into a dispensary. They check, whenever they're checking your ID, they let you look at the camera. And also, police actually didn't show a video of him leaving the dispensary. There's no video of him actually leaving the dispensary, but apparently he did. Also, keep in mind here, on August 24th, that was the same day that Jelani was actually supposed to be meeting with his professor. So while he was caught on camera going into the dispensary, this was only about an hour after he was seen on campus wearing the suit, wearing business attire, and looking amazing in his suit. So about an hour or just a few later, he was seen in a completely different attire, more casual, going into the dispensary. So somebody obviously called him, like, what happened there? Who called him and why did they call him? September 4th, a body was found floating in the Illinois River. But here's where it gets sketchy. The body was not identified because the body was so badly decomposed, so obviously it's gonna take a little bit to be able to identify the body, but the police did not give the family any information. They basically kind of left them hanging, and this is where the problem comes in. This is why you're hearing about this case so much right now. The body was found on the 4th of September. Family did not hear anything back from the coroner. They went ahead and got a DNA swabbing from the family, and then they told the family that the family had to wait because they don't have the equipment to process the DNA to confirm if it's his or not. They waited and they waited and they heard nothing. They refused to let the family come in to identify the body, which I can see both. I mean, it probably was just in such a bad state. They probably weren't allowed to have the family see the body in such state, but obviously you would have to give the family the body back. So either way, they would have to see what the body looked like. You know, the mom, they're begging to come see if it's him, and they basically said no. Like, they're not allowed to come and identify the body. They're just not allowed because it was currently under investigation. And literally days, weeks, 20 days went by. 20 days went by without the family hearing anything from the coroner. Now, can you imagine if this was you and you lost a family member and a body was found and you're waiting? Can you imagine the anxiety, the sleepless nights that you have to go through waiting for a confirmation to find out if this is your family member or not? So now, once the Gabby Petito situation happened and Jelani's mother saw all the publicity, saw all the basically all the rage and all the urgency that was put and all the resources that was put into Gabby Petito's case. This is when Jelani's mom, started doing interviews and saying she wants answers because she wants the same effort, the same urgency to go towards her son, because she felt like she wasn't being, basically her son wasn't getting the same effort.
They hadn't spoken to Gabby in 2 weeks, in over 2 weeks. When they reported her missing, they found her within 3 days.
And she literally has to let people know, like, my son is very educated. My son is going to school to be a doctor. Like, he's just not a criminal. Like, he's not just, just a random person, just in case they're trying to think, because, there's a lot of negative stereotype around Black men. So the fact it's so just in case they just kind of push it off thinking it could probably be gang related or just whatever it is. She just really have to make that very clear. Like, my son literally had a bright future. Like, I need answers. I want to know what happened with my son. So after all of this, and Jelani's case started getting more attention and more news outlets started reporting it, this is when the coroner decides to contact her. So the coroner finally contacted her and told her that they were finally able to get dental records, and the remains found in the Illinois River was basically the remains of Jelani Day, which is just very sad, because you're telling me that now I had to go through all of this. I had to wait 20 days. I had to basically sit here and plead with the public. And obviously, Jelani's mom, she don't really feel good comparing the situation to Gabby Petito's situation, because she knows what the mom is going through. So it's not like she wants the attention to be taken off of Gabby. She just says that she just wants the same effort, because everybody deserves that type of effort when they go missing. And if you're into true crime like I am, a lot of people goes missing. Like, people goes missing like crazy. Like, people literally just vanish into thin air, and authorities, they'll help, but then it's almost like they just give up. They literally just give up, and it's like their family literally have to be the one keeping their name alive, starting organizations, starting Facebook groups, creating, GoFundMe's, and doing all of this stuff. They're the one that basically have to do the groundwork. They start search parties and everything to be able to find their family members whenever their family going missing. This happens a lot. So many people goes missing on the daily, and it's like authority just give up on them once they goes missing. And it's like, you're not gonna know what that feels like until your family is missing. So I do feel like everybody, literally everybody, should get the same type of exposure for their missing case as Gabby Petito. As of today, the cause of death is still unknown. The manner of death is still unknown. Jelani mom is just a little bit upset because she's upset. She said that the coroner basically implied that he may have driven to the bank, took his clothes off, and did this to himself, basically tried to imply that he would do that. Jelani mom said that Jelani would never, ever take his own life. She also said that he was not depressed. He had so much going on for himself. There was so much that he was excited about, so that it just wouldn't make sense for him to do that. So since the manner of death and the cause of death is unknown, that's still under investigation. So obviously they have to stay on top of them, because if they took 20 days to identify this body, can you imagine how long it's going to take them to actually confirm this? Like, it's just so unfair. It just does not make sense. Jelani's mother said that a few days ago, she got a call from the police to identify some clothing items to see if they belong to Jelani. Apparently, 2 ISU students found some clothing close to where the body was found. They left, and then they saw the news about Jelani, and then they went back to go get the clothes and contact authorities to let them know that the clothes were found. But Jelani's mom was a little bit concerned, because she's like, okay, so if you found the body, did you not do a proper investigation around the area to see what else you can find. Clearly, they didn't do a proper investigation, because if they did, then they would have seen that his clothes were, close to the area. So she did confirm that the clothes were his, but this just really just goes to show that they didn't even do a full-on investigation to see what else they may have found. Jelani's cousin also said that she spoke with Jelani 2 days before he went missing. She also said that Jelani's father has cancer and he's in the hospital with cancer, and Jelani is the bone marrow match for his father. So that just shows that that's also another reason why you just know that he would never take his own life, because his father at this point would be dependent on him. So he just would never take his own life. She said that he would go to the hospital, keep his father's spirits lifted. He would pray with his father and just basically encourage him, because obviously that's just a hard time in the hospital dealing with cancer. So so he just would never take his own life. So yeah, that is all I have. It's definitely weird. There's not a lot of information out there on the case, because police, they're obviously not taking it as serious as they should. Jelani's family even tried to have the FBI looking into the case. They didn't even feel like it was worth them looking into. They kept telling her that they're gonna get back to her, because they're talking amongst themselves basically to see if they need to be involved in the case. But it's just definitely not fair, and I just feel like he should definitely get a proper investigation to see exactly what happened. He was definitely a very smart, very intelligent young man with such a bright future ahead of him. He definitely deserves that much. That is all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you made it this far. And I'll see you in my next one. Bye-bye.